Well, so we have our list, which I think is a terrific list, and is a very rigorous list that includes things like investments in the Glenville Museum, taking the scaffolding off the Calgary Public Building, creating a new bus rapid transit line on 52nd Street, all the way from Saddletown to the hospital in Seaton, which will help people a lot, and assisting some civic partners, et cetera, et cetera. There's some good stuff in there around drainage to replace the money that the provincial government had cut in doing flood resiliency across the city. So some good stuff in there. There's a lot though, and the province was looking to have fewer and larger projects. So if in fact they want to have fewer projects, we will lose a couple of projects off of our list and beef up some of the ones that are on the list. But fundamentally, this is a good news story. It is the provincial government investing in job creation and investing in the city of Calgary. We're very thankful for the money, and we were going to put it to work right away. The most important thing I should say on both lists for me is the inclusion of a lot of repair for affordable housing units. It bothers me a lot that we're the largest tenant, a landlord in Calgary, and sometimes our tenants don't live in places we should be proud of being the landlord of. And I hope that we'll be able to fix a lot of that.
Will we be seeing that revised list now? We were confused around whether that was being confidential.
I don't think it's confidential. It's just a repackaging. The list you have is essentially the list, and then those three projects will fall off. It's just packaged differently. But I don't think it's confidential. But I'll find out.
It is a $5.5 million housing.
That's right. That's right. We had tried to put in not just maintenance and repair work that we could continue before the end of 21, but also some addition of supply through purchasing of distressed assets. I still think that's a good idea. I think we should be out there looking for apartment buildings and hotels that are willing to sell cheap. It's not appropriate for this stimulus amount of money.
So does that mean fix more units, or where's that money go?
That's right. There's a little more money. There's a few more units that could be fixed, but there is a time limit. And then some of that money went into roads and pavement and things.
Question from our newsroom. I don't know if you saw that report about you're on a list of some sort.
I love being on lists.
Of Chinese officials overseas at Calgary's sister city saying you're I did like the jackets.
Thank you.
It's a list of people overseas here in Canada that these Chinese officials in Calgary's sister city are hoping to influence of some sort.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently you're on this list. I wonder if you have a reaction.
It sort of made me laugh a little bit. So, if they're trying to influence me, it's not working. But in reality, in fact, we have many sister cities in Calgary. We've had a sister city in northern China and Dutching for many, many, many years. But I've actually, in the 10 years I've been mayor, really not had any contact with them. Even on my trips to China, I have not met with any officials from that city. So I'm not sure what I'm doing on that list, because if they're trying to influence me, it's really subtle.
And just one more, there was a video floating around of outrage over masking at Fabricland the other day. We just extended the mask bylaw to December. I guess what's your message when people are losing it about wearing a mask inside
Well,
stores?
we've seen very little of that. Mm-hmm. Most people have been really good about doing it because they understand. It's actually an act of service to others. It protects other people, not you. So when you say you do you, no, I need you to do that in order to protect me. So people have been really good about it. Compliance has been really high. It's sort of ironic that there would be a challenge at Fabricland, because here's the thing, they sell fabric that you can make masks out of. And just wear your freaking mask. It's not that big a deal, and it helps save people's lives. It's important, and I really want to say most Calgarians have been terrific about it. And thank you to those people. And I'll say one other thing that I've said before is, if you don't like it, write a really angry email to the mayor's office. Do not take it out on the 16-year-old who works at the store. It's not their decision, so be nice about it. And remember that any store has the right to refuse you service. They can refuse you service for wearing flip-flops or not wearing a shirt, and that is absolutely within their right. In this case, it's the law.
I just have a very quick
Okay, last one.
question about age.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you saw His statements today.
No, what did he say?
Well, he confirmed that the program is under review and that there's been
Yes.
lose age coverage or to be cut back in that way? How would that affect?
Look, you should review every government program. You should always take a look at it and make sure it's being used properly, that it's efficient, that there is no abuse. But a society is also judged by how well it treats its most vulnerable members. That's why we have the low-income transit pass. That's why we have the fair entry program, to make life a little bit easier for people living in poverty. That's why we have the Enough for All anti-poverty strategy. So the ultimate goal here has to be to lift people out of poverty. And if government can find a better way to do that than the existing ACE program, great, we will be right there with you. But ultimately, at the end, the people who need our help the most have to be better off, not worse off.
So can you spend 30 seconds on the Bernetta Anderson room?
Oh, yes, I can.
Okay.
Thank you, I'm very happy to do that. Now this surprisingly had nothing to do with me, but it's right up my alley because I really believe that here at the city we should recognize our local history, we should recognize the people who made our history. And what a wonderful thing that in addition to the Annie Gale room here, recognizing one of the first female elected officials in the British Empire, we now have the opportunity to recognize Bernetta Anderson. Bernetta Anderson was the first woman of color elected to City Council. She's one of 2 women of color elected to City Council in the entire history of Calgary. A real trailblazer in the family. The Anderson family continues to be great community leaders here in Calgary, and I just wish I was standing there with Barry and the family when they heard the news, because I'm sure they were tickled pink. But it is appropriate, and I love the fact that people conducting business here at City Hall will be given a little memory of that incredible human being, Bernetta Anderson.
So if I had nothing to do with you, who was it that
I actually don't know. I was asked for a quote on the renaming, and so I love that my colleagues here at the city and facilities management are also thinking about how the work they do every day, you know, keeping this place running, is also work that can really recognize the history of this city. So well done, Matt.